Hi and Happy New Year. I've just completed the Festive 500 cycling challenge, and for those of you who are not familiar, on Strava every year there's a challenge to cycle 500 kilometres between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So this is the first time I've tried it, and very pleased to report that completed the challenge just last night and largely unscathed. And during that experience, there were a few things that I learned and reflected on that I thought I'd share with you. So the first thing is, you don't know what you can achieve until you try. So I've just ridden 500 kilometres in 8 days. When I first started cycling 4 years ago, I just wanted to get a little bit fitter. And I got a second-hand bike and I was riding it to and from work. And that 8 or 10 kilometre commute I was pretty pleased with. Within about 3 months I was managing 1 hour loops in the local hills, and I could see the improvement. Within about 12 months I'd completed my first 100 kilometre ride, and I was pretty excited by that, reaching triple digits. The next challenge came last year, 2 years ago now, when my wife and I visited Italy, and we cycled through some of the iconic mountain passes that you would see in the Giro d'Italia, including the Stelvio Pass, the Mortirolo and the Gavia. That was a big challenge. And now to be able to say that I've ridden roughly 20 hours, 500 kilometres in just a week, shows just how far you can come by having incremental goals. Secondly, pain. As a physio, it's a subject that I know a fair bit about, and I experienced a bit of pain during the last week, but there was also some pain before that may have stopped me from commencing the challenge, because in the weights room about a week before I started, actually hurt my back lifting. Got a little bit over enthusiastic and twinged my lower back. But I know that pain is only a warning sign. It's not an indicator of tissue damage, and I didn't want to let it stop me. I certainly wasn't going to let it prevent me from starting the challenge. So even though I had pain when I was doing simple things like bending to the floor or putting on my shoes and socks, I thought, get on the bike, we'll try it, we'll see what happens. What I found was that day by day, things got better. It got easier. The riding probably actually helped me overcome the discomfort that I had in my back. And now, 2 weeks after that incident, it hasn't bothered me at all. So my reflection is there that the pain that I was experiencing didn't need to stop me from riding, and in fact didn't prevent me from riding at all. Thirdly, cycling is much friendlier to the body than running. That seems fairly obvious, but my previous sport was track and field, and I did that for many years as a teenager and in my 20s. When I retired from that, I used to run for fitness, and I might run 2 or 3 times a week, maybe an hour each session, and that was really about the limit. The body wasn't too happy with me trying more than that, and I used to have niggling injuries that if I did more than 3 sessions a week, they just wouldn't get better. What I've just seen for myself is that cycling every day for up to 3 or 4 hours a day, the body's coped with just fine. So obviously the lack of impact that cycling has compared to running makes it an exercise, a type of exercise that's much more manageable for my body, and probably for yours too. Number 4, you can't outride your diet. So in the past, when I've undertaken vigorous exercise, bouts of exercise in a short period of time, I've usually seen some weight loss at the end of it on the scales. But over this week between Christmas and New Year, the amount of food, and particularly junk food temptation all around has proven a little bit too strong. So I haven't seen any weight loss. And I think that's a trap that a lot of cyclists might fall into, because after a big effort on the bike, the temptation is there for a coffee, a treat, a cake, some other kind of indulgence. And if you're not careful, the energy that you've burnt, you're going to replace that and more with your food intake. So we just need to be a little bit careful there that we're not outdoing or undoing the good of energy expenditure with what goes back in the body. And my final musing, which is born from my first experience riding so many days back to back. 2 or 3 days back to back I've done in the past, but never 8, is the importance of chamois cream. So if you're a cyclist and you've experienced any kind of chafing issues, if you haven't used it before, do yourself a favour, grab yourself some chamois cream, apply it liberally to the chamois, and you'll be very thankful that you've done that. It makes your cycling a lot more comfortable. So there it is, 5 of my learnings from the Festive 500. Thank you for joining me, and look forward to seeing you again soon.